Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Normal is broken, common sense is weird. So we're here to help you transform your life. From the Ramsey Network in the Fairwinds Credit Union studio, this is The Ramsey Show. Jade Warshaw, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. The phone number here is 888-825-5225. Leslie is in Lexington, Kentucky. Hi, Leslie. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Thanks for taking my call. I have a dilemma. I'm recently married, and I'm selling my home, and I've moved into his home on his family farm that's been in the family for 100 years. We need to put a new house on the property. We are looking to spend about $150,000 on that. However, I am hesitant to go into debt on a mortgage on a property that is going to be 100% willed to his grandson. It's likely that
I'm sorry.
It's likely that he'll.
Yeah, so he's gonna leave the property to his grandson. What's that gonna leave you in?
Nothing. I mean, I can stay there, but I know 100% that I won't want to stay there after he passes. And it's likely that the mortgage will still be in existence because he's like 11 years older than me. Yeah. And so I'd be paying on a mortgage for a house that I'm giving away to someone else.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't work, does it?
It doesn't. What should I do?
What should he do? He's in this too. I mean, he wants to leave this land to his grandson, and that's kind of understandable if it's been in the family for generations. I get that, but also making your new wife homeless is not understandable.
Yeah.
Or mortgaged up to her eyeballs. How old is he?
57.
And how old are you?
46.
Okay.
So 10-year difference. And have you talked to him about the idea of it passing to you first and then you turning around and willing it to the grandson when you pass?
Yes, he would do that. The thing is, I don't want to stay there because I have no family there. I would want to move closer to where like my family is. It's like out in the country. I wouldn't want to be there by myself. And
is he in poor health?
Wouldn't be able to
Do you see this happening relatively soon?
No, I mean, I hope not.
Okay.
Obviously.
This could be 30 years.
I guess that's what I'm saying.
He's
You're willing to live there
it could be
30 years.
And all those people that you want to move towards, they might not even be there then.
Yeah.
So,
I think you just don't want to live on that land.
I kind of think you don't either. I think I'd buy a couple acres across the street and build a house there that is yours and his together, and then the family farm is intact to be left to his grandson, and it's not interfering with you all building a life together. I think the problem is when you tried to build a life together on something that is not going to be yours, and that's where it got complicated. So I think you ought to build it somewhere else.
Yeah, the problem is we would have to spend a lot more money if we did that.
Well, why?
Like closer to double the amount of money.
Why?
No, not double. Because the land is not, unless you're going to buy a whole bunch of land. I mean, if you bought 1 acre across the street, it's not anywhere near double.
Well, to put a house on it.
Well, you're going to put a house on it anyway.
Yeah, but it would be like $300,000 to $400,000.
You're going to build a house anyway. The only difference is the land under it.
Right.
Remember, we're trying to help you solve the problem. When you called, you said the problem is if I live on this land, it's not going to be mine. So that was problem number one. You want something that's yours, and you want to be able to get to your family when the time comes. So you want the freedom to be able to sell it, do whatever. So we're trying to help you accomplish that. Because the other option is you move elsewhere, closer to your family and buy something there, right? That's the other option in the complete other direction.
Okay.
So either way, the point is you're going to have to spend some money.
Does he live on the property now?
Yeah, we live in an old farmhouse that is beyond renovation.
Okay. Yeah, I can tell you what I would do. I would move off of the property to somewhere else and I would rent out the old house that's beyond renovation until it's beyond rental even, and just let the property sit there, and it's going to his grandson. I would not combine your lives on that property. Mm-hmm. I'd let that property be what it is. It's legacy, generational property, and you're tangling up two things. You're trying to accomplish two goals with one piece of property, and it can't do it. Mm-hmm. You're asking it to do too much.
Yeah. It's almost the equivalent of, like, you marry a guy and he's got, like, his bachelor pad apartment, and he wants you to move into the apartment, and you're like, I don't really want to live here. I'm only doing this to make you happy, right? Yeah. And then he goes on, he's like, you're not going to still live in the bachelor pad. You want to live where you want to live. You want a foundation that you start together where you both feel like this is our home where we live together.
Yeah, the only other thing I could do is you could plat off 1 acre off of the family property, build the house on that 1 acre, mm-hmm. and that 1 acre is deeded to you, mm-hmm. not to the grandson.
Period. But it would be tough to get.
And then you sell that. If you want to offer it to the family when you get ready to sell it before you sold it to the public, that's fine. Uh-huh. But when he dies, you're going to move anyway. By the way, wherever you move to when he dies, you're going to move, according to you.
But that's also the assumption that 30 years later, the grandson is going to want to keep up this land and wants the land, right?
30 years later, that the family you're going to move next to are still alive.
Right. There's a lot there.
Yeah. So, we're really, but I think you are wise to recognize that this is not a good system. It's not a good plan. Mm-hmm. So, no, I would not go forward with a plan. I would do something different. So, carve off an acre. That way you could sell that acre in that house when you got ready to leave and after he passes, and the family loses 1 acre of the family farm. If the family farm's 2 acres, then I guess that's a big deal. But if it's 200 acres, it's not a big deal. So, decide how that's going to work, and then, or literally go across the street off the family farm and build something. I don't care what you do.
And be smart about where you plot it out. If you pull it out smack dab in the middle, you don't want to do that.
The corner, off in the corner, and that way it doesn't harm the value of the property, and it doesn't leave you with something that's not marketable when you get ready to sell.
Right.
So, you're correct in that going forward with the plan that's on the table is a bad idea. You are correct about that. It's not going to end well. Uh-huh. Sooner, later, whenever this is. I mean, the grandson could be really old by the time you're really old.
Also true.
It's he's 57, so this grandkid's probably 6. Uh-huh. Yeah, and so 30 years from now, he's 36 or 40 years old when Papa dies. Uh-huh. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah. And he might decide he doesn't want the land. He sells it to somebody, and now suddenly you don't like your neighbors. There's a lot. A lot can happen in 30 years. Mm-hmm,
mm-hmm. A lot will happen in 30 years. That's very interesting. Very interesting. Good question. But you're recognizing, I think the bottom line is you're asking this piece of property to do things it cannot do. It can only do one of the two things. It can't do both. And so you're not going to be on the property if you're wise.
You've worked hard to control your money. You've been budgeting with intention, building a plan, and creating a secure future for your family. But there's one area most people forget to protect: their online data. So I use Delete Me. Because y'all, data brokers collect and post personal information like your home address, phone number, and even your kids' school's info. They do it without your permission, and once it's out there, it can be used by scammers, AI spam tools, and other people that you would never want to have access to your life. So think about it. You wouldn't hand that info to a stranger at the grocery store, so why let it sit there online for anyone to find it? Well, Delete Me helps you take control back. Their team of real, live privacy experts finds your exposed info, removes it from sketchy websites, and makes sure that it stays gone. Then they send you a report so that you know exactly what they've taken care of. So protect your peace and the life that you're working so hard to build. Right now, Ramsey listeners get 20% off at joindeleteme.com/Ramsey with code Ramsey at checkout. Do it today. That's joindeleteme.com/Ramsey and code Ramsey.
Karina is in Washington. Hi, Karina. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I have a question. I'm trying to figure out the best way for me to proceed. So earlier this year, I had picked up a second job because I wanted to save up for a house, and that's what I've been doing thus far. And I learned that my current second job actually offers a Roth 457B. And so now I'm wondering, should I put more money into my 457B so that when I leave, I can roll it over into my Roth IRA, or if I should continue saving all my money for a house?
I'd save all your money for a house.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you got your emergency fund in place and you're debt free, right?
Correct.
Okay. And you're going to save up your down payment and then you're going to start your retirement savings, correct?
Yes.
How far are you until being done with the down payment?
How long will it take you?
It really depends. In our area, houses are pretty pricey, so they average about $500K, and I have saved up $83K.
Good.
Oh, good. Okay. So when do you think you're going to buy?
Originally, I was thinking that I would get a mortgage, but a month ago, a coworker of mine turned me on to the Dave Ramsey Show, and I read your book and started looking at your YouTube videos. And so originally I was thinking probably, this fall or, in the winter. But now I'm starting to think maybe I should wait another year, save up, and then either put a bigger down payment or whether I should wait for about 4 years and just try to buy a house in cash.
Wow. What's your income?
Originally, I had started with about $70K, and right now it's probably going to be about $160 with the 2 jobs.
Okay.
$160?
That's great.
Correct.
Wow, nice bump from 70. What'd you do?
I am in biotech, and I have an IT job.
So what are you thinking? You'll live on 60? Is that the plan? And then in 4 years, you'll have 500?
That's kind of what I'm hoping for.
Interesting. I mean, I'm never going to discourage you from paying cash. Just know it's a moving target. So there's part of me that says if I can get in the game earlier, I'm getting in the game earlier. So just think that through.
Yeah, I think I would go with your plan, but if the market starts moving on you, you maybe can jump in with the $300K down payment or something if you had to. But let's work your plan for right now.
I love that.
That's very cool. Good for you. Congratulations. That'd be a very sweet place to be.
We
Talk
need
about
more
hustling.
people with that mindset, I think.
Talk about hustling, man.
Yeah.
Hustle.
I love that.
Mike's in Pennsylvania. Hey, Mike, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
So thanks for taking the call. I have basically my situation here is I'm going to be receiving an annual bonus in a few months, and I'm trying to decide what is the best use for the cash. So current situation, I have a little more than a emergency fund in the bank. I have about $50,000 in cash right now, about 25 of which I would say is emergency fund related. And I'm going to be getting a bonus of 60,000 gross, so probably about 40,000 after taxes. Between my wife and I, we have about 50,000 in student loans. And then the only other debt we have is 2 mortgages. So I have a rental property that was originally my primary residence that I have about 80,000 left on. And then I have my current primary residence that I have about 240,000 on. And the simple thought was put the money toward the student loans, pay them off completely. But the rate on my current mortgage is about 7%, whereas the rate on my rental mortgage is about 3.6, and my student loans are at about 5.
Well, you'd still have.
When I look at the long term,
No. When you look at the long term, you're wrong. You look at the long term, you got to get rid of the stupid student loans. You're not going to prosper as long as you keep those things around. This is not an investment strategy. This is stupidity, and you got to clean it up.
Right. So the student loans was the first one where I assumed that's what I should probably put it towards.
You're right. You assumed correctly.
And then you'll still have a little bit because, like you said, your emergency fund is inflated. So you'll still have a good chunk that
I'd take 25 and put it on a student loan today. And when the bonus comes in, pay off the rest of the student loan. That's right.
And then you'll still have money left over that if you wanted to throw it towards, what were you saying, your primary? Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah. Well, I have the primary mortgage and the rental mortgage. The primary just has a much higher rate. So while I would assume, like typically I would have paid down the rental, but the primary is a much higher rate, so I'll just have more savings for putting it toward that. And
what's the balances on the primary and on the rental?
The primary balance is about $240. The rental is about $80, and the rental is probably worth about $175, and the primary is only worth about $290-ish.
Is the rental local?
They're both local. Yep, I manage the rental myself. I've had that for about 7 years now.
Good for you. Good. Okay, I would clear the student loan, then I would clear the rental, and I'd refinance the primary.
Okay, so you would go toward the rental first after student loans. Okay.
Just not because of anything except it's just only $80,000 and you're going to knock it out quick. Because I smell a $200,000 income, don't I?
Yeah, I'm right around 160 right now before the bonus, and the bonus is annual, but it's not guaranteed. But I typically do receive it.
Yeah, and so you're making $200K on average, and almost like I've done this, and so with $200K, you're going to knock the 80 off pretty quick as well. With you sitting there with your emergency fund, refinance, get rid of that 7 and some change because you can get a 5.7 right now on a 15-year.
Yeah.
Once the rental's gone, how much will you clear in profit every month? Just curious.
It's $2,200 a month right now, gross rent.
Yeah, sweet.
That's nice.
So you're probably making $1,500 a month, give or take, whatever your property taxes are in Pennsylvania, which I don't know, but yeah. I mean, you're probably making some money there at that point.
Good job.
And that's another another $20,000 a year that you can throw at
the primary.
At the primary. But yeah, I'm going to refinance that primary because it's going to be more than 2 or 3 years before you get it paid off, and I want to get that rate down because that rate is a little bit jacked. But but here's the thing: when you're paying off debt, folks, really, really fast, like we are with this student loan, almost instantaneously, and with the whole thing here is not even 5 years.
Right.
The whole thing. Okay. And so when you're doing all that, then interest rates, the shorter the period of time in which you're going to pay off the debt, the less interest rates matter. The only time interest rates matter is when you're paying them out 20 years, when you're paying them out 10 years, paying them out 5 years. But when you're paying off in 4 months, it's irrelevant.
Negligible.
Almost. I mean, it's not like interest rate's not your problem at that point. Cash flow is your problem.
Right.
That's what you're leaning in on. So good stuff. Dylan is in Fort Worth. Hey, Dylan.
Hey, Dave. It looks like I got the perfect duo today. I got the payoff debt queen and the real estate master. So happy to be back on again. It's been a few years. So my wife is listening. So we have a new surprise coming that was really unexpected of a baby in, of course, 9 months. So we bought our home for $420, probably close to 2 years ago. So we're not quite past that capital gains mark yet. If we were to sell it now, we're probably looking at $420, $430. We owe $388. I have a feeling I know what you're going to tell me to do. We have 62 left in student loans, and that's from myself and my masters from years ago. It's now been lingering like a pet for 10 years. I think our big question is we're trying to reduce that monthly cash and increase that monthly cash flow. If we could be going from like $3,560 a month down to like $2,500 to $2,800, which is what we see rentals going for around here, probably a game changer with cash flow. We could then throw all that in debt, stockpile money, go into stork mode until baby comes.
What's your income?
But we've also seen...
What's your monthly
take-home pay?
I have very irregular, so...
On a regular month?
Quarterly.
What do you make? What do you make a year?
$6,000.
What do you make
yearly?
a year?
This year will probably be about $150 for me, about $70 for her.
If a regular month is $6,000, then yeah, you got to get out of this house. It's more than 50% of your take-home pay.
But $6,000's not 150 plus 60, so those numbers don't add up. So, hang on, we're gonna come back to you because I can't figure out what the flip you're doing. Hold on.
For way too long, I struggled with sleep and woke up groggy after tossing and turning all night. But now, I look forward to bedtime and I wake up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed thanks to Casper, a company that's been perfecting better sleep for over a decade using durable, high-quality materials that actually last. My whole family now sleeps on Casper mattresses. Yes, even the dogs have their own Casper dog bed, to no one's surprise. And it's not just one man's opinion. Casper customers keep their mattresses for years, and 4 out of 5 customers recommend them to friends. And with free delivery and a 100-night trial, Casper is no gimmicks. A mattress you can trust, backed by quality that lasts. So go to casper.com/Ramsey and use promo code Ramsey to receive 25% off all mattresses and 10% off everything else with code Ramsey. That's casper.com/Ramsey. Exclusions apply.
All right, we're talking to Dylan, who's got a baby on the way. Surprise! It's awesome. And we're trying to figure out exactly what's going on. If I remember, your house payment was $3,500. Is that right?
Yes, sir. And as my wife just texted me, a baby wasn't a surprise, but we weren't sure if we were going to be able to have one. So
Got it.
We were texting offline, and we're roughly around $9,000 to $10,000 take-home pay a month. It's just I get paid commissions quarterly. So like every 4 months, we have a big surge of like a $10,000 to $15,000 commission.
Above the 9 to 10K, or that included in the 9 to 10K?
Correct. No, above.
So you get 9 to 10K,
That's why
plus you get
my
quarterlies
yearly
of
would be
around
about-
15K.
I'd say so, yeah.
So you're averaging about 15K a month.
Yes. So the way I kind of have to budget it out is I kind of have to have those sinking funds ready to kind of know what's coming over, until the next quarter hits.
Well, that may or may not be, but either way, your question is, can you afford this house? Yes, you can afford this house. Why are you wanting to move?
I think it's just that monthly is so tight on us that
It's not tight.
It's because you're not on a budget.
It's not tight. You make $15,000 a month. You have a $3,500 house payment. That's not tight.
Well, and I think it only feels tight
because you're trying to live without and act like your commissions aren't real.
Probably true.
Yeah. So your commissions. Let's pretend for a second. Whoa. Let's pretend for a second. Let's pretend you got your commissions in your hand, $15,000, and you said, I'm going to allocate $5,000 for each of the next 3 months. I'm going to pull from that commission bucket, and I'm going to put $5,000 on my $10,000 income. That's making me have $15,000 income for the next 3 months. Then when your next commission check comes in, you do the same thing. You're trying to do this backwards, looking in the rearview mirror rather than looking out the windshield like I just outlined, because you've not gotten ahead of it yet. When you do that, this is not going to feel tight at all.
Yeah, and I have been dropping each big check onto a truck payment. So
yeah, you're just acting like you don't get those checks.
It's not even part of your budget.
And the problem is that's leading you to a faulty decision on the house because you're acting like you can't afford the house. You can afford the house. If you don't want the house, that's a different issue. You can. You're obviously a free person. You're allowed to sell the house if you want to, but not because I pretended like a third of my income isn't there.
Yeah. So for that first quarter, it's not there, and then when you receive it, then you can say, okay, for the next quarter, like you said, you're putting that $5,000 per month.
Yeah, and if you get
ahead of it.
$18,000, it's $6,000 a month.
But now you're ahead of it. It's just that first quarter when you're not ahead of it.
Yeah, you just got to say that. And so you have 3. If you start my plan, you have 3 more tight months.
That's right.
And then you'll never have a tight month again.
Yep. It's the same thing with normal budgeting when you get paid on the 30th. the 30th check goes to the next month. It can't be used for the month you got it.
Yeah. You can't wait to pay your house payment till the end
That's
of the
right.
month. So yeah, you got to get ahead of it on all of this. It's just a 1 month cash flow, or in this case, a 3 month because it's a quarterly commission check.
That's right.
So then you've just got to decide: do you want this house? Do you like this house? So I think what happened here is the announcement of the child made you go, oh, we've got to really start. Yeah, you do have to start now. That's good.
That's right.
That's really good.
It's a good catalyst.
We're going to give you a year of EveryDollar as a baby celebration. And I want you to get in the new, improved EveryDollar because it's going to guide you through everything. And it's, but you get ahead on the sinking funds, not behind them.
Right.
And then quit ignoring the fact that you actually make this commission because you're throwing 100% of it at something else. And no, we can't do that. So it all goes into the plan. Then you work the baby steps from the plan. And while doing that, you look at the ratio of your house payment and say, okay, I can afford this house. I choose not to.
That's right.
But it's not because it's in air quotes tight.
That's right.
Okay, now I feel better.
You feel good.
Nate is in Wichita, Kansas. Hey, Nate, how you doing?
Better than I deserve. How are you, sir?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
My wife and I went through bankruptcy last year and into early this year because we just made an absolute mess of ourselves financially. And at the start of this year, we really decided to focus and commit ourselves to getting out of the rest of my student loan debt, which is all we have left, and trying to live really disciplined. We lost our car last year when we went through bankruptcy, obviously. And we've been just driving an absolute beater, and we're trying to make it work. My daughter just turned 3 last month, and I'm feeling very grateful for that, and she's healthy and happy. But I'm just trying to maintain hope right now because it's hard. It's so hard to stay disciplined, to stay focused, to not give into the temptation to go back into debt, to have a nicer car so things are a little bit more reliable.
What's your household income, sir?
Just under 70.
And how much is your house payment?
We're renting right now. It's just under $1,000.
Okay. All right. And are you still putting money into your 401k?
No, I was pretty undisciplined through my 20s. I just turned 31 a couple weeks ago. We don't have any money in retirement yet.
You're not putting any money out of your check into retirement?
Not yet. As soon as we get out of
and
debt.
And how much student loan debt do you have?
Just over $20,000.
Okay. All right.
We've paid off about 8 so far this year.
Okay. The thing is that you're facing, the math is not as much of a problem as the emotions. Okay.
Right. And I know I'm just being emotional.
Well, I mean, it's you've been through hell, and there's a shame that goes with bankruptcy. You're like labeling, I'm a money failure, and you're not. But for a moment there you were, but you're not that way forever, and we're not going to stay that way forever. So I remember how it shook my confidence when I went through that, and that's just very real. So, okay, now, how do we fix that? Well, we need some quick wins. We need some small wins, and that starts to build our confidence up. And the best place to do that is a budget. Don't you think, Jade?
Yes, sir.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, I agree wholeheartedly.
So I would we'll give you EveryDollar for a year, and it's the new improved EveryDollar, and it's going to guide you through the baby steps. But what you've got to do now is say, okay, we're going to look at the money coming in every month. Are you getting a tax refund?
Not much of one. I set up my taxes so I don't end up giving the government an interest-free loan.
Good. So you've done a lot of the things already where you can find some margin. EveryDollar will help you find some more margin, and but with $1,000 house payment, you've got some margin in this because you don't have any other payments now except the student loan. And so, our first goal is to save $1,000. Our next goal is start knocking off the student loan, making 70. You can probably do that in about a year if you live on beans and rice. And what your confidence will come, not because the magic wand waves and gets rid of the student loan, but when you start being in control of your money instead of it being in control of you.
The The hard part is you're doing something that you've never seen done before, right? So you're attempting to pay off debt to become debt free, and you've never been there before. And so the natural inclination is to say, I'm going to go back to what I know. That's the comfort zone, even though it's not good for me, even though it got me in bankruptcy. That's why you're like, you know what? Let me just go back to credit card debt. Let me just go back. And you're fighting yourself because you're heading towards truly a brand new frontier for you. And so what you need is to keep engaging with people who have done it before so that it becomes more and more real to you and you can see it and it starts to become a normal reality. Right now, it's not a normal reality for you. Is that fair?
Definitely.
So keep engaging, keep being around here, watching these shows, listening to these debt-free screams. Get on social media, follow Rachel Cruz, follow Dave Ramsey, follow myself, and this is gonna become normal to you, what we're talking about, and that's what you need so that it doesn't feel like this foreign thing that no one's ever done before.
If you've listened to me for more than 5 minutes, you know that being normal with your money is not a good thing because normal is broke. And I want you to be weird. That's why I love what we're doing with Fairwinds Credit Union. Our friends at Fairwinds just launched a brand new Ramsey debit card. And it says, debt is normal, be weird, right on the front. I love that. Because every time you swipe it, you're choosing to live differently with no credit card payments and no debt. You see, Fairwinds has been helping people like you ditch debt faster and build wealth for years. They're not trying to shove credit cards or auto loans in your face like the big banks do. And they've worked with us to create the Smart Bundle for Ramsey fans. It includes a no-fee checking account, a high-yield savings account to supercharge your emergency fund, and now the Ramsey debit card to help you stay focused on the baby steps. We're excited for you to try it. So check them out today at fairwinds.org/Ramsey. That's fairwinds.org/Ramsey. Insured by the NCUA. Well, the last two callers we gave the all-new EveryDollar to. It's a game changer. Watch the premiere on our YouTube channel to see the new app in action. Hear how folks are finding thousands of dollars in margin in just 15 minutes when they open it up, start plugging in their numbers. EveryDollar's new features will point this out to you and then show you exactly what to do with that money so that you can move from debt to wealth. And that's exactly what we've been showing you how to do for 30 years, and now we're doing it right here in the palm of your hand. Imagine how much you could find to put towards your money goals. Be sure and check it all out. Again, watch the premiere on the YouTube channel. It's pretty incredible. Carl is in Cincinnati. Hey, Carl, what's up?
Hey, Dave. I'm calling here under some pretty crazy circumstances. So, first off, I'll tell you my situation. I am a 100% disabled veteran from the Iraq War. And my income is strictly from those sources. It's fixed. It goes up when the government decides to give us an increase, but that's about it. And I've navigated a lot of things quite well, I know. My wife died a month ago.
Oh, my gosh.
And, yeah, it's been traumatic for my family.
What happened?
She had a stroke in her sleep, according to everything that happened.
How old was she?
37, man. She had a heart defect, but we didn't expect this to happen.
I'm so sorry.
My goodness. Wow.
We lost about 40% of our income when she passed, and gracefully, we've at least had some life insurance, which was just 2 years of her salary, split evenly between our youngest, and myself. Because of that, I was already in the middle of the Dave Ramsey plan at the time. And because I wanted to do the right for my kids and set ourselves up and economize. We are debt-free other than our mortgage. We have 6 months of savings set aside largely because of that life insurance. And I am just trying to figure out with my income, which is about $81,000 a year, just strictly that, trying to live comfortably while saving for my son's future. Both my boys got education benefits guaranteed to them, so we don't have to worry about that. I want to try to invest wisely.
Stop a second. You're doing like 43 things at once, and your wife just passed away. Let's just calm down a little bit. I'm sorry, man. The life insurance was how much?
My share was $45,000, and the other was Theodore's, and that's going to be in the certificate held until he's 18.
And how much is that?
About the same, about $45,000.
Okay, all right. And so that was structured wrong. Okay.
It was strictly through her work. It was a benefit through work.
Yeah.
Because of her heart defects, it was pretty hard to get her any insurance.
Yeah, but by structured wrong, I mean there should have been none left to the child in a certificate. That's horrible.
So you're treating the 45 as your emergency fund? Did I hear that right?
I put that towards paying off credit card debt and the rest in the savings. And economize. That's literally what I'm doing.
Okay. And how much is your house payment?
$2,600 a month. And as soon as my lending guy, a really dear friend of mine who works in the lending industry for veterans, he helped me get this house when I didn't have the credit to deserve it, but I got it anyway. And as soon as the rates are low enough for me to do an VA IRRRL, I'm going to lower the rate but not restart the loan. That should hopefully bring me down a few $100s a month once that hits. But I can manage with what we got right now.
Okay, so if you got an $80,000 income, you have no debt except the house. You have some money in savings. You have some money in savings. You don't have to save for Theodore's future. You're fine.
My thought was I want to leave him something since I don't qualify for life insurance because of my disabilities.
That is not my thought right now.
Yeah.
My thought right now is you get your house balanced. Quit worrying about saving for kids. Okay, he's got $45,000 sitting there in a cert, and he's got free education because his dad served his country. Thank you for serving your country. Okay, and so that's all set. And he can make his way. He'll be just fine. I'm worried the way you leave him an inheritance is not by having a kid's savings account. The way you leave an inheritance is you get yourself straightened out, and you begin to build wealth for you over time. But right now, the first thing you do is you just get balanced. You buy groceries, you keep the lights on, you pay the house payment, and you live on your income, and you can do that.
It's just been easier to focus on that than to just sit and, idle time sucks.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. I mean, it's waves of grief coming at you and catch you off guard at the worst possible time. But in terms of the math of your situation, don't try to make this do too much. The first thing is just live. Set up sustainable. And that's food, shelter, clothing, transportation, utilities. You're in good shape. You're not in a pinch. Now, if you start trying to put, 25% away for retirement, and I'm going to put another $2,000 a month for Theodore, you don't have that kind of room. That's not an option.
She did have survivor benefits that are going to start this month, and I want to invest that. That's what I want to do.
Well, if and only if your dadgum budget is balanced.
Got it.
Okay? If you do so much investing that you call me stressed out, then you're overanalyzing this.
Mm-hmm. How much is her benefit going to be when that pays?
$1,600 a month, divvied up between the two of us.
Divvied
what
up
does that
between
mean?
The two of you.
How old is Theodore?
Hello?
I think we lost him.
Must have. All right. Yeah.
There he was.
Well, okay. Anyway, yeah. So it shouldn't be divvied up between the two of you. There's a survivor benefit that should go to you.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't go to a minor child. So But even if it does come to him, it's for his care, and we're going to use it in the budget for his care.
Right.
So we're going to take care of the household. Let's get the household going. Then we'll start worrying about investing. Breathe. Give yourself 6 months to cry, man. I mean, 37 years old. Oh my God.
It's just a month ago. Sheesh.
Yeah, just give yourself let's just get this budget to where we're not going in the hole. We're not having a problem, and everything's running smooth, and we'll worry about investing a little bit later. You got time. You're okay. You got plenty of time. We'll get to investing 6 months from now. But for right now, let's just see how big a pile of cash we can pile up and living on the income that we have coming in.
Right.
Just keep it real clean, real simple, and then gives you, if you don't want to add financial stress to grieving.
Yeah. Well, like you said,
especially
I think
since you don't have to.
He's giving himself something to do when really there's not much to be done.
I really wouldn't. I'd find a different hobby.
Yeah.
Than screwing around with his money stuff right now.
Mm-hmm.
Give yourself a little room to breathe and to hurt, and then 6 months from now, your brain is going to be working a little better, and then you can talk about doing investing at that point. That's how I would do it. Wow. So, a couple of pointers then across the board. You always need to be in touch with Xander Insurance and get term life insurance, and you need 10 to 12 times your income on you if you're insurable. Now, Carl's not insurable. His wife may not have been either, because they may have already detected the heart. Matter of fact, he said that because he'd done it through work.
Yep.
But for the rest of you, you're walking around out there and you're 37 without any medical issues. For the cost of a pizza, you can get 10 to 12 times your income. And so you're making $50,000, you put $600,000 on you.
And it's for people who are dependent on your income if something happens to you. Because all the time people are like, I'm taking a policy out on my kid. I'm like, no. You got it twisted.
No, you put it out on you. And $600K and 15 to 20 year level term insurance. And Xander Insurance can help you do that. They've been doing it, been a Ramsey endorsed, Ramsey Trusted for 30 years. And we've been sending people over there. And you need your life insurance in place if you can. Now, Carl's family was not able to, but that call can remind some of the rest of you to get your stuff done. Make sure you're lined up. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show in the Fairwinds Credit Union studio. Jade Warshaw, Ramsey personality #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Kayla is in Virginia. Hi, Kayla. How are you?
Hi. I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
Okay. Let's see if I can get through this without crying. So I recently separated from my husband because of abuse. Okay, I'm good. And I'm currently living with my parents in Virginia, but my husband and I originally lived in a different state, so I'm going to have to go back there for custody reasons soon. And I was wondering, obviously I'm not moving back in with my husband, is it smarter for me to get a cheaper apartment that's around the one bedroom that's around $600, $700 for me and my 2-month-old, or is it better for me to get a 2-bedroom apartment because I work from home, and I'm just wondering what's more important, paying off my debt as fast as possible, or keeping up my mental health with just having more space and a space for the baby versus a space for my work.
How much debt do you have?
I have about $32,000 in student loans, $6,000 in credit cards.
6,000 credit cards.
And so how much? What does he make a year?
He doesn't make anything. He's a student, and so honestly, I don't know how he's going to pay for our current house. He was insistent on keeping it, and I kind of want to stick it to him and see him struggle because I know he won't be able to afford it.
Your name's on the mortgage too, honey.
It's a rental.
Oh, your name's on the
And
lease also.
I explained everything to my landlord, and he understands what's going on.
Yeah, I bet he
and
understands.
so,
Your name's on the lease. Unless he understands by giving you unless he releases you from liability in writing, your landlord hasn't understood nothing.
Okay.
What's your income?
So I don't know. I'd be careful about sticking it to him with your name on there, okay? Now, what do you make again?
I make $20 an hour. I think it's about $40K.
All right. There's part of me that I would really focus on getting your situation financially cleaned up. And if you're able to live cheaply for $600, I would do that, especially while your baby's young and you guys can kind of huddle up in a 1-bedroom. And then if you can clear out some of this debt, then the time can come where you can move to a 2-bedroom. But I think now's the time while the baby's little and doesn't take up a lot of space. Now, you said mental health. I'm guessing because living and working and sharing a room all in one space, that's claustrophobic. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you've been in a domestic violence situation, so you got a whole different issue on mental health. You've been dealing with a 10 out of a 10 on mental health. A baby being in the room is a 2 out of 10.
Yeah, I think you're going to feel relief.
So, yeah, are you talking about moving back to that city because of custody?
I don't know about the same city, but the surrounding areas, within 30 minutes.
Okay. Are you going to be
It's a pretty
safe?
rural area, so it's
Are you
got a lot
Are
of
you going to be
little rural
safe?
towns. I think so. It was emotional and verbal abuse. It wasn't physical, thankfully.
Good.
But he is violent, and so it just depends. Like he would break things. So
Okay.
I really don't know what he would do if he found out where I lived, but.
Okay. Yeah, so here's the thing. You're coming through an absolutely horrible situation. And so you've got some spiritual recovery to do, some emotional recovery to do, and some financial recovery to do. Agreed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so the last thing you need is right now is to be spending any money on an extra bedroom. So right now I'm with Jade. Let's keep everything as cheap as possible. How long have you been with Mom and Dad? How long have you been there?
2 weeks.
Okay. How much longer do you plan to stay there?
We're meeting with some lawyers tonight to figure out how long I can stay without him being able to charge kidnapping or anything, which he's threatened.
Yeah, he can't. Well, let your attorney advise you on that. And I would recommend you stay with your parents as long as you can, like for a couple months if you can. And during that time, I want you to pile up cash. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Don't pay down debt right now. You're in the middle of a storm. I want you to pile up a big old pile of cash for attorneys and for deposits on apartments and all that kind of stuff. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Then once you get settled and you've got a divorce underway, you get settled on the cheapest possible apartment, then and only then will we turn loose on these debts.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you haven't cut up the credit cards, you need to cut them up, okay?
They're cut up.
Good.
Yeah, I've been trying to pay him off, but my husband was, for some reason, against going ham on paying off our debt.
Oh, it's real easy. I don't know why that was. He was trying to control you. Yeah, that's a control mechanism. So what we're going to do is you're going to clean this stuff up after you get stabilized. And the way you get stabilized is you keep your housing costs as low as possible, utilizing Mom and Dad for the next 1 to 6 months. And after that, then and only then, as the divorce progresses, and only when the lawyer says you absolutely have to move back into the market, do you move back to the market. And you do the cheapest thing you can then, and you clear the debts and you pile cash. Clear the debts and pile cash. And pile cash in the meantime. Because if you had $15,000 saved right now, and it was just sitting there in a pile, it would give you a whole different comfort level than sitting there with no cash and this other. You probably wouldn't have even called us. But because you'd have that much different of a feeling.
That's right.
And that's where I want you to get to first. Then we'll clear the debt. And then we're going to be in an inexpensive temporary housing, which is like for a year or two. Okay? It's not your whole life. It's for a year or two. So that you get away from the jerk. Mm-hmm. And, wow, pretty crazy. That's something. Good for you. Good for you for pulling away and for having the strength to do that. Good for your mom and dad to give you a safety net to land in.
I agree.
And it sounds like you've got your head on your shoulders. You're already seeking legal counsel. You're figuring out what you can do and can't do. You sound like you've got a good support around you, which is how you break free from this kind of stuff. Because this level of stupid has a gravitational pull.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It sucks people back into it over and over again.
Especially the more desperate they feel.
Yeah, and control. That's the financial control is one of the things we learned 30-something years ago was when we see a guy that is 1,000% controlling every ounce of the money, there's very often domestic violence included.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
It's a symptom. It's an indicator of what's going on. It's not 100%, but it's really close to 100. Mm-hmm. It's in the 90s. And so if the wife's not allowed to go to the grocery store without her husband, if she's not allowed to do anything, make any money decision without her husband, if she's not allowed to he's got a complete death grip on every single dollar, there's usually domestic violence tied with that. So that's a little bit of what you were experiencing there, Kayla, where he didn't want you out of debt because it gave him a power over you. What does the future hold for business? Ask 9 experts and you'll get 10 different answers. Economic growth or a recession? Business taxes will go up or down. AI will help us work or it will replace us all. But there's no such thing as a crystal ball. That's why more than 42,000 businesses have future-proofed themselves with NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 AI cloud enterprise resource planning system. Ramsey Solutions uses NetSuite, and you should too. Whether your company's earning millions or even hundreds of millions, NetSuite helps you respond to immediate challenges and seize your biggest opportunities. With one unified business management suite, there's one source of truth for the visibility and control you need to make quick decisions. NetSuite's real-time insights and forecasting help you see into the future with actionable data. And when you're closing the books in days, not weeks, you spend less time looking backward and more time focusing on what's next. And speaking of what's next, download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning at netsuite.com/Ramsey. It's free at netsuite.com/Ramsey. The Ramsey Show question of the day is brought to you by Why Refi. Defaulted student loans that are private can drag on for years, but Why Refi helps borrowers explore custom refinancing with a low fixed rate and a payment you can actually manage. Go to whyrefi.com/Ramsey. That's the letter Y, REFY.com/Ramsey, not in all states.
All right. Today's question comes from Chad in Washington. He says, my wife and I follow the baby steps and are debt-free except our house. Our net worth is $1 million, and we owe $75,000 on a house that is worth $750,000. We're in our early 50s. When we got married, my wife had a $100,000 annual salary, but when we had kids, we made the decision together for her to stay home and homeschool them. Fast forward 20 plus years, the kids are grown, we are doing well, but my wife is still not working. My income is $150,000 a year. I have asked her to get a job for a few months to knock out the mortgage and build up a gap fund so I can retire a little early. We have plenty to live on, but I've noticed some budget drift as the kids don't require as much attention as they did when they were little. Is my wife a princess, or do I just need an attitude change? Interesting. Okay, so just to recap, you guys are millionaires. You owe $75,000 on the house. Your wife has not worked in 20 plus years, is what it sounds like. And now you're saying, hey, I could retire a little bit faster and we could pay off the house a little faster if she would just get a job. That's where we're at. I don't think she's a princess. I think there's something that maybe you guys need to do to work to meet in the middle. I can understand you wanting to go a little faster on the house, and I can understand you wanting to retire a little faster. But I don't necessarily, I wouldn't go as far to call her a princess. I think you need to frame up the argument in a way that she's also excited about it. Because whatever you've been saying, it's not, she's not excited about it, so she doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, Chad, if we look up nerd in the dictionary, we're going to see your face. Okay? You completely dialed in here, bro. And that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's what got you here. But yeah, you're 100% concentrating on numbers, which is what I do. That's how I know what you look like. I know who you are. And if you're not careful, you forget about relationships. No, your wife's far from a princess.
Yeah.
Does she need to dial it in and get a little bit more serious and join the crusade to build some more, the last little bit of wealth that we can? Yeah, yes, she does. We tighten up that budget a little bit, and we can. But does she have to necessarily go back to work to accomplish that?
So.
I don't think so.
I think the budget is that's been her thing for 20 plus years. So if she can tighten up her end of the thing, which is managing the money at home, and if you can tighten up your thing, which is bringing in the money from outside, I think that's fair.
Well, I mean, you manage the money at home together.
Yeah.
You're going to do your budget. We're
but
not
I mean,
going to
home
do
economics.
But no budget drift.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to have any drifting. But I think you could dial it back a little, and she could dial it up a little.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, meet in the middle.
Meet in the middle.
That's what it sounds like. But no, it's neither. It's not that you are completely out of line and need an attitude change, and it's not that she's a princess.
That's right.
But I think you're making some valid observations from a nerd's perspective, and she's probably gotten just a little comfortable.
That's true.
And
it happens.
let's dial up the seriousness just a little bit, dial down the seriousness just a little bit, and I think we'll find a really happy place right here. By the way, you guys have done great. Hello.
Yeah, woohoo.
Luke is in New York. Hi, Luke. How are you?
I'm doing good, Dave. Much like you, I'm doing better than I deserve. How are you?
Just the same, sir. What's up?
All right. So I am 25. I just moved back home from graduate school. I just got my master's degree. And, I listen to your show a lot, and I know sometimes there's recent graduates on, but I guess I just needed like a refresher. So, I'm having trouble in my job search. I know you always say to not just apply to 1,000 jobs on the line without really talking to anybody. But, I have kind of a niche skill set. I worked in the sports industry for a few years, and I guess, that's what I want to do. And I guess I'm kind of being picky at this point, I'll admit. So I just kind of wanted to get like your advice or whatever on, handling a job search postgraduate degree.
So what are you wanting to do in the sports industry?
So my master's was in data science, sports business analytics, which, I didn't just choose that degree. It was what I was doing out of school. I was working for a major sports organization, moved down to get my graduate degree at a school that had, pretty good sports and was working for their basketball team. And, something in that field, I live around New York City, so obviously there's tons of opportunity for roles like that in other fields. So I have kind of broadened my search in that sense, but it's still just kind of been not the most fun process.
Yeah. Well, you're right. You're in an epicenter of sports, without a doubt. If you were going to be close to a whole bunch of teams, that'd be the place to be, right? In all kinds of different things. And yet, having said that, it's a fairly small pond you're fishing in.
Yeah.
So that means you've got to go one direction or the other to jog something loose. And one is you lower your expectations for salary and position, and you take more of an entry level, get your foot in the door in a sports organization. Or two is you step outside sports, and you make what you think you can make. So what is it? What do you think that this position you're trying to get is worth?
Well, I guess that's kind of definitely part of it. I've definitely lowered my expectations in terms of salary. I would guess like the 85,000-ish range, but at the same time, I'm not really locked into this area. I just moved to Mississippi for school and for this job. So, I'm not I'll kind of move wherever if the opportunity is right. And there's definitely, a path to developing as a professional and developing my technical skills. But I'm just in a weird tweener spot where like, I'm not entirely entry level. And then for the jobs, I'm thankful to have gotten interviews.
It might be. I think I heard language that you were using early in the conversation that it's possible you are overvaluing the degree.
For sure.
like I got this degree and you think that's going to be like the magic bullet, the silver bullet. The silver bullet, the secret sauce is Luke and what Luke learned while he was getting the master's. The master's degree has zero value in and of itself. Only the knowledge that you put in your brain while you're getting the master's degree. Now that knowledge has value. So knowledge is valuable, but degrees are worthless. So people don't care what degree you got. They don't care where you went to school. What they care is, did you learn something that you can use to help us move our process, our company, our organization forward? And so if you'll concentrate on how you can add value, not concentrate on, look at me, I got a master's.
That's a good
That
point.
might change your interview posture, the posture of your heart in the interview. It's like, hey guys, I went back to get a master's so that I could get really good at this data stuff, and I'm really good at this data stuff, and I can help you with your data analysis, and it's going to do this, this, and this, and I want to add value, and I'm excited, and I'm pumped up about adding value, adding value, instead of like opening up your shirt and showing them the S on your chest or the MBA on your chest, right?
I didn't know where you were going with that. Okay, great.
Superman is here, right? Right? And so, like Clark Kent, and no, you don't. You got to be real careful with a new degree that you worked really hard to get it, and I'm glad you got the knowledge, but then don't place too much emphasis on that.
Plus, there's a certain level of, ladder climbing with any position, right? No matter what, when you start out, you're kind of at the low end of the totem pole, and there's some building that has to be done in your role, right? Like you're building your personal brand and you're building your skill set so there's that part of it. There's a grunt work aspect all the time as you're building. So that's just part of it.
When we're doing our onboarding and stuff here, that sometimes I'll swing in and sit in with the new team members. Inevitably, when I ask a question, what's it take to get ahead at Ramsey? I'm like, oh, here's an idea. Be really good at your job.
Yeah. Start proving your value.
Add value. Add value. Make us really happy that we hired you. And that's how you move ahead. We're very utilitarian.
That's right.
Most businesses are, by the way. We really just want a return on our investment. That's how this thing works. And so you gotta make us more than you cost us, or we all go down, right? That's how this works. So how can I add value? How can I add value? And how can I, in a very practical way, hit the ground with my feet and start running from day one?
Dave, we got a lot of calls on this show where life happens. One day someone's healthy, they're working, providing for their family, and then a curveball hits.
We hear it all the time. A car accident, a cancer diagnosis, a heart attack, and suddenly everything changes.
Yeah, and that's why you've always said that having term life insurance from Xander is essential, because it protects your family if the worst happens.
Yeah, that's right. You need 10 to 12 times your income in coverage. No gimmicks, no whole life junk, just straightforward term life protection. But there's another piece that people often overlook, and that's long-term disability insurance.
Yeah, it's important to understand the difference between them. Life insurance steps in when you die. Disability insurance steps in while you're alive but can't work. So it replaces a large part of your income so the bills still get paid while you get back on your feet.
Now, if your employer gives you free disability insurance, great, take it. If it's discounted there at a better price, take it. But if not, Xander can help you find the right plan. Whether you're single or married, it's not optional. If you're going to be out of work for a while, then you need to make sure the money's still showing up.
And that's why Xander is our go-to. They make it super simple to get the right coverage at the best price, no pressure, no upselling.
I've trusted Jeff Xander and Xander Insurance for over 25 years, and so has my family.
So don't wait. It's fast, it's easy, and it could make all the difference. Go to Xander.com or call 800-356-4282.
Protect yourself, protect your income, protect your family. Well, guys, big news. The Fed cut rates. You know about that a couple weeks ago, and the 15-year fixed-rate mortgage rates have dropped as well. Lowest we've seen in about 11 months. If you're financially ready, it's a great time to buy houses because house prices have kind of been basically flat up a little bit. Buying an affordable home you love is possible when you work with a Ramsey Trusted real estate agent. These high-octane, high-protein pros are handpicked to guide you through the weird market and keep your financial goals in mind while we're doing it. Find a trusted, Ramsey Trusted, local pro for free at ramseysolutions.com/agents or click the link in the show notes. Tyler's in Toronto. Hey, Tyler, what's up?
Hi, Dave. Hi, Jade. I want to start by saying I'm a longtime listener, and God bless both of you and your team for the work that you do. It's made a great deal of difference in my life, and I'm sure for many others. So
thank you. How can we help you today?
Well, I'm calling because my wife and I, we are both 30. We've been together 6 years, and we are currently on baby step 3, but we are stuck. We're stuck on step 3 because we have been working at gazelle-like intensity for the last 5 years or so. And between the two of us, we have 2 full-time jobs and 3 part-time jobs. And I'm calling to ask for help on what advice you would give to boost a household income so that we don't have to be working 70 to 80 hours a week each. Because I'll be honest, we work conscious and hard and we love each other, but we are tired.
Yeah.
Sounds like you don't make any money.
Yeah, what are you making?
Well, so we live just outside Toronto, so we are in an ultra-high cost of living area. Our monthly budget, which we have followed dutifully since we moved in together 4 years ago, so our monthly expenses total, including everything, is about $6,800. And between the two of us, we bring in about $105,000 a year.
Okay. And what did you pay off during that 5 years of baby step 2?
Our total debt wasn't very high. We only had about $8,000 or $9,000. So that wasn't the hard part.
So if you don't get different jobs, you can't afford to live there.
With our current ones, we can, but the compromise is no. Just on our full-time salaries, we can't.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You don't make enough money to live there without working 70 hours a week and 3 part-time side hustles. It's a cost of living thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes.
I mean, you also can't live in Manhattan and you can't live in L.A. either.
Yeah, what's keeping you in Toronto? What's keeping you there?
2 reasons. One, all of our immediate family is here, and both of us are fairly connected with our families and churches. And I mean, we've lived here for 30 years. We just want to stay in our home.
But I mean, 2, is there
both of our jobs are tied geographically. She is a high school teacher, and so she would lose her seniority and her salary if we moved. And I work as a copy editor for a municipal company. So if I moved away, I would have to find another job.
Right. But I do feel like both of you have jobs that you could find in outer rings of Toronto, right? I mean, how far out from Toronto do you live currently? Are you an hour outside of town?
Yes. We already live in a suburb, but both of us have been looking for the last year and a half because we set a goal and said, we're fed up with this. We want to get it so we have more time together. And so we have been consciously applying.
Right.
And I've had multiple interviews and 2 offers, but both offers were for less money than I currently make.
Well, there's going to be a cap. I mean, you've got to go into this knowing for my job, for my career, here's kind of the salary cap. Like here's a generality of what I'm going to make. So just because you apply for more jobs doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be higher paying. And Dave made the point. If you choose to live in Toronto, there are certain things that are going to go along with that price-wise. And you have to at some point say, I can either afford it or I can't. I have family members who lived in LA for the longest. And they said, the truth is, even I'm a teacher and the spouse did something else. If we work here, for our pay, we will not be able to afford the lifestyle we want. We won't be able to buy a home. We won't be able to do X, Y, Z. And so because of that, they moved to Georgia where they could have that life. So you guys have to decide as a family, what's more important? working 70, 80 hours a week to have this dream of staying in Toronto, or having the picket fence and having some breathing room and being able to have, whatever that is. You guys have to make that choice.
And the third option is completely change your careers.
And
get your income up. But you cannot, you're right. The reason you're tired is that you don't see a way out. You feel like a rat in a wheel, and because mathematically nothing's changing, and you're smart enough to realize doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. So, you've got to change something if you want something to change. So there's 3 possible variables, and it's location, and is one of them, and then the second one is to change careers completely. But I feel for you, but there's some things you just can't, you can't afford to live on $20 an hour in Manhattan.
Right.
You're not doing it on $20 an hour, but you're trying to do it on about $40 an hour. And you just can't afford to live in Tokyo and London and Toronto and Manhattan. You can't make it there on that kind of income. So, you guys are staying afloat, but you're doing it by you got every finger stuck in every hole in the dam, and if you pull one out, the whole thing's going to flood out on you, and you realize that. So I'm sorry, man. I wish I had a magic wand that would make it easy to do, but it's not. You're going to change careers, or you're going to change locations. And or you're going to work 70 hours a week, which I don't recommend as a way of life. I don't mind doing that to get somewhere, but I don't want to do that to say that's for the next 40 years what I'm going to do.
Yeah, there's a cap on that, and 5 years is a long time to be in that mode.
You don't only get physically tired, you get emotionally tired.
Yes.
From doing it that long.
You lose sight. You lose sight.
Justin's in Illinois. Hi, Justin. How are you?
Good. How are you today?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Awesome. I try to get right to the point. I'm 48, and in my 20s and 30s, and in my early 30s, I never gave retirement a passing thought. The word 401k meant nothing to me. And so now that I am retiring, I know you can't make up for lost time, but I just want to make sure I'm doing the right things so that, hopefully I can retire someday, and with a healthy retirement. And I just want to run numbers by you and basically see what you think, and what should change. And
are you out of debt except your house?
Completely. The house is paid for, and
everything's
no other
paid
debt.
For. Very good. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So are you maxing out your 401ks, IRAs, and so forth, all in Roth?
But my 401k is in Roth. I do 14%, which is my company's max. I guess I fall under their high earner category. So I'm at 14%.
How much is that?
I understand at 50. I make about $140 a year, so it's 19,000. And even
call
so, even though I fall short of the 23,
$1,500 a month. And what else are you doing?
On top of that, the reason I'm not worried about that, the 401k that much is my company also has profit sharing, which obviously fluctuates. But the last 2 years, it's been $30,000.
Good.
That they put into my 401k.
That's great. Okay. What's in there now? What's the total nest egg?
The total is right about 100,000.
Okay.
That's why I was calling you today, making because they had a financial advisor come in a few months ago and just look at your numbers and see where you're at.
Yeah.
And he gave me some numbers for 15 years down the line, and I don't know compound interest. So I look at my numbers today, and the numbers he gave me, I'm like, that's not right. One of those deals.
Listen, I plugged it in now. If you work from your current age, 48 to 68, you've got 100,000 in there now. You put 1,500 in a month. Average rate, annualized rate of return, 10%. You're at 1.8 million. That ain't too shabby.
There you go. If you want to get some more help, sit down with a Ramsey SmartVestor Pro, and they'll show you in detail exactly how that works and how you're going to get there.
As a mom, I plan for everything. I plan the budgets, snacks, lunches, backup outfits in the car for the unexpected. I mean, everything because moms handle a million details every day. So don't skip one of the biggest ones. What happens to your family if you're not there tomorrow? You guys, a lot of people put off making a will because it can feel a little scary. But here's what we all need to realize. Planning for the future isn't fear, it's love. And creating a will turned out to be one of the most loving, protective things I could ever do for my family. And Mama Bear Legal Forms makes it so easy. No lawyers, no stress, just an online process that you can finish in about 20 minutes. And now my husband and I both sleep better because we have taken care of the stuff that really matters. And it isn't scary, it's wise. It's what moms do. So if you've been putting off making a will, I totally get it. But don't wait anymore because you're a mom first, which means you're always planning. So go to mamabearlegalforms.com and use promo code Ramsey to save 20%. mamabearlegalforms.com, code Ramsey.
Emily is with us in Detroit. Hi, Emily. How are you?
Hello, Dave. How are you?
Great. What's up?
Hi. Well, I'm calling with sort of a financial, moral, ethical, and biblical question all in one.
Okay.
Let it rip.
So the reason I'm calling, so my brother and I, we both work in ministry, different churches. We live in different states. He's clear across the country than me. He and his wife, they have 8 children, and their belief is that God called us to go forth and multiply, and they believe Christians should be having as many children as possible.
Well, they're doing a good job of that.
Well, regardless of finances. So their only income is my brother's pastor's salary, and as you may imagine, pastor's salaries, nobody goes into ministry to, make it big. So he has actually said in podcasts and interviews that if you have more children than you can afford to have, that qualifies you as the needy, and the church and family members are called to help the needy. And so his solution to this is to be on state aid in addition to a salary, and his in-laws also pay them a stipend every month because they believe he's in ministry and they should be helping them with their bills. I think it's lunacy. I think it's crazy, and I was just kind of curious what your opinion was of that.
I completely agree.
Thank you.
Yeah, that is not biblical.
I don't believe it's biblical either, and even though we're
the
same
Bible
denomination,
does the Bible does say to be fruitful and multiply. The Bible also says that those that won't take care of their own household are worse than an unbeliever.
I would 100% agree with that. And he and I are the same denomination, but sometimes I wonder if we're reading the same Bible. But my other question to piggyback on that is, do you think Christians in any capacity, whether you're a pastor or a firefighter or whatever, should ever be taking advantage of government, or as I like to call it, taxpayer-funded aid?
Well, I'm not ready to throw rocks at everybody who ever does anything, but obviously we at Ramsey are big on helping you prosper. And I've never met anyone who prospers on government aid.
I would 100% agree with that.
So it's not an act of love for me to recommend that, or you certainly wouldn't tell people to do it as a way of life because it's not good for them. It's not as much a moral judgment as it's just loving the person and saying, "Gosh, I've never met anybody on welfare that had just a wonderful life."
I would agree with that.
The consistency of staying on welfare.
Yeah, but are you going to hell, or are you a bad Christian if you go through a rough patch and the government helps you for a little bit? I'm not going to be that judgmental. I'll give you a break on that.
Okay, no, it's a perspective. And my other question was actually kind of on behalf of my parents. My parents are very generous people. They fly out, so they live in Detroit with me, but they fly out to where my brother lives periodically, to see the kids, to keep up that relationship. And they're very generous when they're there. But when they are there, they kind of have their limits on generosity. My brother will make comments like, gee, my van needs new tires, and, see these bald tires, it's not safe. Or one of the kids lost their glasses, and, we just can't afford to repair them. What are some good boundaries that parents of adult children could have on saying, well, this is your problem,
Yeah.
So it's just kind of my question, is there any good guidance on that?
The thing is, that there's not anything your parents are going to say or you're going to say is going to change your brother. He's made his decision.
true. It's very true.
And so I'm either just going to love him where he is and disagree with him. I mean, I have relatives that vote wrong, and I love them anyway, you know. And so, that's okay,
Right.
and they think I vote wrong, so it's okay, and they love me still. So, but now, how much money am I going to pour into a situation like that? Listen, they're fixing the bald tires or replacing the lost glasses is not going to repair this situation. It's bigger than that.
Correct. And that's what the advice they've been given by other people is that's just a Band-Aid on it. The tires are going to be an issue again. The glasses are going to be lost again. Whatever it is, it's not fixing.
So, I would just say, okay, I have a budget of money I'm going to burn on these grandkids just to be that guy, and I'm not going to worry about it. But past that, the answer is no. And so, when we go out here and visit, we're planning to drop $1,000 into kids' stuff that they need right now because their dad's kind of a doofus. And so, I'm just going to have that as my line item. And then when it gets above that, I'm not going to do any more than that.
Also, Emily, everything that you're talking about is not even a direct effect on you. You're talking about this is your brother and your parents' deal. So if I were you, respectfully, I'd just mind my own business because nobody's coming to you for money, right?
It's her mom, and this has not been said directly to me, but a good friend of mine is actually married to my sister-in-law's brother, and she has made many comments about how, oh gosh, they're in such bad, straits financially. Everyone in the family, including, myself and my husband, should be helping them. And I just think it's wrong. I think you should be embarrassed. If you're in your 30s and 40s and you're counting on family members to pay for things for you, I think you should be so ashamed. And so,
as an ongoing pattern, yes, but as an off thing, but again, somebody 4 degrees of separation away doesn't get a vote on what I do. If they don't like that, I don't agree that he has labeled himself needy biblically, and I don't agree with that label, so I'm not going to biblically step up and make him not needy. He's needy, but it's not money.
He needy a new job.
Careful, you'll get a Jadeism. You'll get a Jadeism dropped on you like a bomb.
You needy a job.
Oh, that's it. That's the deal right there.
Oh, boy.
So, here's the thing. It is frustrating to watch people that you love, especially when they're taking advantage of people that you love, and it's not, and they're not winning. But I'm also not going to get sucked into anyone else's guilt trip, or I particularly resist someone trying to Christianize their guilt trip.
I know, that's right.
So, we had a guy one time at the old office, Jay. This was funny. He came in and he was at the front desk, and I walked out. They said, "This guy's out here to see you." And I walked out front, and he said, "God told me that you're going to give me a new van." And I said, "No, he didn't." And he said, "Oh, yeah, he did." And I said, "No, he didn't. Because if God told you that I was going to give you a new van, he would have told me, and there'd be a new van sitting out there with the keys in it."
I know, that's right.
If God told me to do it, that's what would have happened. But God didn't tell you nothing. You had bad pizza last night, and you're blaming God. And so, and then, of course, he starts cussing and screaming about how we're not real Christians, and had a little duck fit right there on the floor, and we had to have him removed. But because you don't challenge these God people when they're doing this stuff. So, crazy Christians give the rest of us Christians a bad name, y'all. I'm just saying. So, God told me that, and so, you're going to quote scripture that demands that you remove my private property from me. We're going to have an issue with that. Needy a new job. That's it. Yeah. Wow. Whew. And here's the sad thing.
Wow.
There's 8 kids being affected by this.
That's what I know. Yeah, that's tough.
So that's tough. Now they're being raised by that, and then they can't figure out why they strayed away from the church.
Exactly.
Because they were raised poor, because their mom and dad had decided to have a bad series of biblical definitions.
Yeah.
But I tell you, I do love the idea that we ought to be fruitful and multiply. But maybe we also ought to raise our income while we're doing that.
That's right.
So that we can feed them. That's supposed to be the kind of thing goes with it. So I agree with you. I agree with your frustration, Emily. But to Jade's point, there's not anything you're going to do about any of this. So this was just a discussion we all had, because nothing changed at the end of this discussion.
Nope.
Because we could give no one instruction in this process that's going to take the instruction.
Yeah, if they wanted help, they would have called in. If the parents wanted help, they would have called in.
Yep.
So,
yeah. And so now you get to just sit on the sideline and be frustrated, or just watch them and grin and go, that's my brother.
Yep.
Yep, that's him. That's the guy. I know that guy.
That's the hardest part of all this, though,
It
when
is.
you see a better way and you know a better path and you just want that person to just change.
You want it more than they do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's how we become enablers if we're not real careful.
Mhm.
Or just really frustrated with family members. either
Yeah,
one.
you're just sitting back there just. Meanwhile, they're broke eating a sandwich. They don't care. You know?
They're broke eating a sandwich somebody else made.
That's right. That's right.
Needy a job. I can't believe you, Jake. That was really good. That's good. That's good. I like it. I'm going with that. I'm sticking with it. I'm going to steal that one.
Steal
After
it.
about 3 more times, it'll be something I said. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show in the Fairwinds Credit Union studio. Jade Warshaw, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Kayla is in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Hi, Kayla. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I had a question about term life insurance. I've been listening about you saying that we need about 10 to 12 times our annual income. And I guess from my point of view, it seems like that's very, very high. And maybe I'm just like missing something in the calculations. And so I'm just hoping to kind of get an idea of like why that number you pick.
That's a great question. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Because a whole bunch of other people are probably wondering exactly the same thing if you are. So glad you called. So, to start with, it is not universal. #1, everyone does not need life insurance. It's if people are counting on your income to live and you die, then they're up a creek, right? And so, and as you build wealth through your life and get out of debt through your life and your net worth increases through your life, you progressively need less insurance to the point that you're self-insured. I'm 65. I'm worth millions of dollars, and I don't have a dime of life insurance. Okay? My wife will be just fine if I die. Okay? As a matter of fact, she's kind of planning it. Okay? So, but that's because we're out of debt and have built wealth. You follow me? And there's no kids to raise.
Yeah.
The kids are all grown and gone and so forth. Okay? Jade, on the other hand, has 2 littles, and she and Sam are raising a family right now. Okay? And so, different positions in life. So if you're 20 and you have no spouse and no kids, you don't need much life insurance because no one's counting on your income. So that's the sidebar. That's the caveat. But then back to your original meat of your question is, let's say you're 34, you have 2 kids, and you make $60,000 a year, and your spouse makes $70,000 a year. Okay, that's when we would say, if you got a house mortgage, you've got some student loans you're still paying off, you're working the baby steps, you're a normal 34-year-old in America today, you definitely need 10 times. And the reason is this: $60,000 income earner, 10 times would be $600,000, 12 times would be $700,000. So if that person died, let's say that was the husband, he died and left the wife behind with 2 littles and half the income that used to be there, that wife could take that $600,000 and invest it. If she made 10% on $600,000, it creates $60,000 of income without touching the nest egg that is created. The goose will keep laying that golden eggs perpetually. If you invest $600,000 at 10% in a good growth stock mutual fund, it should average that or more. Then she's going to have the same income off of that mutual fund that her husband used to produce.
And you did not sacrifice retirement.
Yeah, and she didn't have to starve to death. Okay? And so that's where it leaves her in reality. And we've got thousands of those stories over the years. But that's where it comes from. You invest the 10 times and at 10%, then you end up with replacing the income of the person, and that's what life insurance is for. That makes sense?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So in other words, if you, what's your situation? How old are you?
I'm 35.
Okay. Single or married?
I'm married. We have 3 kids, 2 in middle school, 1 in high school.
Okay. And what's your net worth?
Our net worth is roughly about $200,000.
Okay. All right. So you're doing pretty good. All right. How much debt do you have?
We don't.
Okay. Good. House or anything?
House we have a little bit left. There's a little bit less than $100,000 left on it.
Well, you're ahead of the game. Agreed.
Yeah.
You're doing better than average for your age. Okay. Funny, I picked out 34 a minute ago, huh? For the example,
Yeah.
but that is the exact average. So, what does your husband make?
My husband makes about $80,000.
Okay, and so if he had $1 million on him, and we invested that at 10%, it'd make $100,000 minus taxes. You'd have $80,000, and we would not miss his income. We'd miss him, but we wouldn't miss his income.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the weird thing: if he's healthy, if he's not obese, and he doesn't smoke, that $1 million on that 30-something-year-old is very inexpensive.
Okay.
It's like the cost of a pizza. I mean, it's nothing when you look it up. So,
have you priced it out yet, Kayla?
Yes. Yeah. We had gone through Xander and had a couple estimates. And so we had priced it out. I was just trying to figure out exactly like where we should land with that.
So truthfully, $1 million is a little much for y'all because you're in such good shape. Because if you didn't get his whole income replaced, as good a job as you've done, you'd probably be okay.
Mm-hmm.
But for the difference in the cost in $800,000 and $1 million on policy so low, I'm going to go ahead and beef it up a little bit. And even later on, when the kids were grown and gone and we had some wealth, Sharon wanted me to keep life insurance for a while, and I kept it for a little while. SWI, Sharon wants it. There was no reason for it whatsoever mathematically. She just wanted some. I finally
Did she let it go?
I finally talked her out of that a few years ago. But for about a decade, I kept life insurance for no apparent reason other than SWI.
This makes her feel
She
better.
said, I'd rather have that $1 million policy than another diamond. I'm like,
wow.
All right, good. Okay, you can have it. It's just a gift to you. But you understand it's not good financial planning. You understand it's not what I teach. And she's like, I don't care what you teach. I want it. Okay.
To be a fly on that wall.
But that's where it comes from. If you take 10 times or 12 times your income, your spouse could invest that amount at 10%, and we have replaced you. If something happens to you financially, obviously no one could replace you. Mm-hmm. You're special. But yeah, right. But anyway, so yeah, that's the thing. You're gonna be okay.
And then as you age, like let's talk about once you've aged out of it, like when you feel like you've net worthed out of it. Let me call it that.
Well, the kids are grown. 15. We say 15 to 20 year level term. Mm-hmm. That's a good point, because 15 to 20 years from now, the kids will be grown and gone.
That's right. And they're making their own money.
They're doing their own thing.
Life.
They don't. They're not a liability anymore financially. Mm-hmm. 15 to 20 years from now, you'll be out of debt, 100% house and everything.
That's right.
Because we tell you never take out more than a 15-year mortgage, so you're going to be completely debt-free 15 to 20 years from now. And 15 to 20 years from now, you probably have $1 million or more in your 401k, because you will have been investing in baby step 4, 15% of your income. And so your assets are rising, your debts are going down, and the kids move out. Mm-hmm. Then it takes less to support you, and you set up with good financial planning, working the baby steps, a situation where you become self-insured.
Right. Where really at that point, the only thing you're thinking about is your health.
Yeah.
And caring for your health. And so there you go.
Yeah, but we're not. If something happens to me today, we've done all of those things and then some.
Right.
So Sharon's more than okay, and vice versa. I'll be okay, without her income. It'd be okay. She doesn't have an income, but that's good. So that's other than mine, because it's ours and all that.
That's right.
Investing might seem complicated or confusing, but it doesn't have to be. The Ramsey Investing and Retirement Hub is packed with interactive tools and resources that can help you get informed, not intimidated. Check it out, ramseysolutions.com/retire, or click the link in the description if you're listening on YouTube or podcast. Guys, remember, retirement is not an age, it's a number. So it's not like 65, bing! No, it's more like 2,000,006. Bing! You know, okay, what is it you want? What's the nest egg you want to where you don't have to think about money? Then you are able to retire at that point. Now, we can call that financially independent. I don't like that phrase very much, but we could call that whatever. And I don't like just saying I'm never going to work again either. I think you ought to do something. I work, and I don't need to because I love what I do, and I help people, and it's a good thing. And so find something to lay your hand to. That's a good thing, because too many people do, quote, quit work, and like a year later they're dead. Oof. So you need something you're doing, right? You need to be plugged into something. But that's, remember, retirement is not an age, it's a number. All right, here we go. Amelia is in South Carolina. Hi, Amelia. How are you?
Hi, Dave. I'm well. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Great. Okay, well, I'm calling because my husband is a physician, and his practice is a private practice, and they are about to merge tomorrow with some other groups. And we just figured out that his 401k from his old company, or, the company he's with today, that's about to become a new company tomorrow, we don't have to put that into the new company's 401k. I guess we can instead make it a self-directed IRA.
Or you could just roll it to an individual IRA. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that may open up lots of different options, and just wondered if you had any advice. Like, could we consider putting some of it into real estate investments or something like that?
Okay. All right. Good. Well, the first thing is, yes, I would roll it to something. I would not leave it with the new company 401k. This is an opportunity to move it to something where you have a lot more control and a lot more options. At a minimum, you sit down with a SmartVestor Pro and you pick a series of good mutual funds on your own, and you roll it to an IRA. There's zero taxes on that, and you manage that from this point forward at a minimum. Okay? If you chose to do a self-directed, you could roll some or all of it that way. How much is in it?
It's our biggest of all of our retirement accounts. It's $1.155 million.
Okay. Do you own other investment real estate now?
No.
Okay. How old are you guys?
52.
Okay. All right. So here's the, yes, you could roll half of it or some of it or all of it. Let's say you moved $500,000 over and you bought a couple of $250,000 rental houses in South Carolina, and you put the other $500,000 or other $600,000 in a regular IRA, like I was talking about in mutual funds. Okay, in the self-directed, then you can buy real estate, as you mentioned, and you could do those two $250,000 houses in there if you wanted to. Okay, the downside is two things. One, people screw up and forget that you can't touch any of the money from those rental houses, okay? Just like you can't cash out your mutual funds in your IRA until you're 59 and a half, you're going to get penalized, okay? So you can't pull the rent money out and use it. 100% has to be operated like it's someone else's company, and you can't embezzle or commingle funds in any way. It has to be a standalone operation, and 100% of the repairs are done from the IRA, the roof, the heat and air that goes out on the rental, the carpet that has to be replaced on the rental, and 100% of the income created in the rental has to stay in the IRA. You understand?
Okay. Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, because if you pull one dime out, number one, they may toss you out of the whole thing. But number two, you're going to get penalized on that dime and taxed on that dime when you pull it out. So don't commingle it. And people often mismanage these things. So you got to just be real airtight with that and promise, and stick with it. The second thing is you've never owned any real estate.
Not as an investment, no.
Yeah, and you're getting ready to be a landlord, and you buckle up, Buttercup. This is a new experience. Okay?
So when she pulls the rents, those hypothetical rentals that she purchases, she pulls the rents, that money has to immediately go back into the IRA?
You're not pulling it. You're running it as a separate company. It's got its own checking account.
Mm-hmm.
You're running it as a company over here, like it's not you, like you're doing it for somebody else. So it all stays encapsulated within the IRA.
So there's no liquid money for repairs.
No.
And that's interesting.
Yeah, well, the rents would create, because they're stuck in there. You can't pull the rents out.
Wow,
so the rents begin to build up cash.
Right.
Over time. Hopefully you're cash flowing. I mean, you're buying two paid for rental properties, right? So hopefully you're cash flowing. You're making some money. So those $2,500 rents are piling up. Then you got to pay property taxes out of that, pay insurance out of that. You got to do your repairs out of that, and what's left in there is profit, but 100% of that profit stays in there.
The IRA. Yeah.
That's what we're doing. So, yeah, you just got to be ready, because here's the thing. If you get in these things, and this is a lot of trouble, you'll make more on those two rentals if you buy them well and manage them well than you will on mutual funds. But you're also going to invest a bunch of time in it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because people who say real estate's passive investing make me laugh. There's nothing passive about it. Okay, it's real estate. The beauty of it is it requires some more effort. With mutual funds, you can set it and forget it. Look at it once a year, twice a year, and not worry about it. You know, I look at my real estate stuff every month. I get reports on it every single month. And that's just me looking at the people that are managing it for me that work for me. Okay. And I look at my mutual funds once a year.
Uh-huh.
So I burn a lot more brain calories on my real estate than I do on my other, but I make more money on it. So, but I love real estate. I'm a real estate guy, so it makes a lot of sense for me. I would not put 100% of it in real estate. I would do something like I outlined, maybe 50%.
Okay, but do you think with the real estate market where it is right now that this is a good time to consider something like that?
If you get a bargain on a piece of real estate, it's always a good time.
Okay.
Don't pay retail. Good Lord, no.
Yeah.
No, we want to get a deal. And so we're going to get a deal. We're going to buy a $300,000 house for $250 because we're writing a check and we're closing Friday. You want to sell your house? It's sold. I'm getting a bargain. Okay, and we're looking for a deal, and and deals are hard to find, but they're worth it. It's $50,000 you made right then, as soon as you buy it, $50,000 under market, and that's what I'm looking for if I'm buying. I don't buy houses anymore, but if I was buying houses right now, that's what I'd be doing. I'd be looking for a bargain. Are they everywhere on every corner? No, they never have been. There's no market that they're everywhere, but you can find them, and somebody out there needs to sell a house right now, and there stands Amelia with cash. And yeah, you can do it. And here's the other thing. If you get into it and you hate it, you can sell them inside the self-directed IRA and roll the self-directed into mutual funds into a regular IRA. You can put the car in reverse and back out of this, and maybe not even lose money. But if you just get into it and go, this is a pain in the butt. I don't want to fool with this, and I want to be traveling. I want to be dealing with renters, right? And so that's okay. That's fine. So you can put the car in reverse and get out of this. So yeah, if I were you, I'd try it since you got the itch, but I wouldn't try it with more than half, and I wouldn't do it. Of course, you're going to pay cash. But I actually knew a guy that did this because he was a guy that did flips, and he took his $1 million and made it into $3 million doing flips. Wow! All inside the IRA though. He couldn't eat out of it.
Well, I was going to say he had to
have a job over here to eat.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a fail-safe in that way. You're not going to spend your earnings.
It keeps your hands off of it unless you screw up the whole thing. Yeah. Michael and Kara are on the debt-free stage right here in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions. Hey, guys, how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing good.
Better than we deserve. Good to have you. Where do y'all live?
King George, Virginia.
Oh, fun. Welcome to Nashville. And how much debt have you two paid off?
$212,626.
Good for you. And how long did that take?
65 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
Was 96,000 to 120 and down to about, I think it's going to be about 115 this year.
Cool. What do y'all do for a living?
So I am a vendor. I work for Liftoff Distribution, which is a Red Bull vendor.
And I work for a child development center at the Navy base.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. All right, $213,000 over 65 months. That's your house?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, look at that weird people! A paid-for house. How old are you two?
I am 34.
Wow. I'm 35.
Wow. And a paid-for house. Oh, and there's a picture of it in the snow. I like it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So what's that house worth?
Well, they said
about
in the email after, I think it was 330, yeah.
$330,000.
Amazing.
Awesomeness. Good for y'all. And you're 34 years old. And how much have you got in your retirement nest eggs at this point?
146,000.
All right. Halfway to millionaire. Gonna be there quick now.
Mm-hmm.
How's it feel to have a paid-for house at 35 years old? Y'all know how weird you are, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we hear it a lot.
Yeah. It feels great.
Yeah, we're really excited.
Yeah, that's fun. Good for you.
So what started the journey?
Yeah, I mean, like 65 months ago. Wow, 5 years and some change.
Mm-hmm. So you did an interview on the Sunday special, and I got to listen to it one day when at the time I was working at Frito, and I was loading my truck, and I was listening to it, and I said, oh, I can't wait to get home. I got to tell my wife, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. I got to go home. So I got done, came home, and I said, we got to do this journey. And my wife was like, what are you talking about? I came in through the front door like I was crazy. And
he got into the Fritos again.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And she was like, okay, well, it makes sense. So, where do we start? And I said, well, the first thing is we got enough money. We had a car payment. Pay the $3,000. Let's just pay the rest of it off. We got the money. And she said, okay. Let's do it.
Well, all right, one down.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
So you didn't start with a bunch of consumer debt. You had kind of kept your way out of debt up until this point.
Oh yeah, no, it was. And
we've always been against credit cards.
Yeah, credit cards and all that stuff. To be honest with you, I wouldn't have gotten the car debt if my mom didn't tell me that it was good for you. And so since it was so good for me, it I went ahead and paid that off. Yeah, so we paid that off, and then. We did the 6 months, get your emergency fund, and then right about that time, COVID happened. So once COVID happened, I took advantage of the refinance rates because they were way down. I went to 2 3/4 on the house, and then at that time, so we continued to put anything extra on the house, and it was just a small amount at first. And
every raise we'd put more in.
Yep.
And I got a little more nervous.
Intentional.
Yeah. Every raise, every tax return, it just was automatically the raise that I needed to put on the mortgage every month. Every single month, every single year. If it was $7,000 back, okay, divided by 12, that's what it goes up. If she got a raise at work for cost of living or something, okay, it's $1,200 divided by 12, that also goes on it. And we just lived exactly the same way for 65 months. No vacations, no eating out, no nothing. Just streamline.
And now you're completely done and halfway to being millionaires already.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Yep. Congratulations, you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. How many people making fun of you while you're doing this?
To be honest with you, it didn't really tell.
I think anyone made fun of us.
No.
A lot of people were just like, wow, that's awesome. We wish we would do that.
Yeah, they were like, I had a lot of people saying, it is unusual. Why do you want to do it? And I'm just was kind of fed up with some career path stuff that corporate America does to people. So I got really, really aggressive.
Yeah.
Get that piece.
Yeah.
So
you got walk-away power at that point.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know, that's right. So my favorite question is, what are you going to do to celebrate?
Yeah.
You haven't done vacation. You haven't done anything in 6
overdue.
years.
Yeah.
Well, we brought all of our kids here today. That was not a vacation.
As far as vacations and stuff like that, I'm not totally ready for it yet. Because the mission's not quite done. So this house is done, but the house that we have now, is we got a full house, 5 kids, 9 pets, 1,200 square feet, running out of room.
Yeah.
Wow.
So probably going to take the next year and a half or so, pile up cash, take the equity, buy $550,000, $600,000 house cash. Then from there,
then you can take a vacation.
Then I'll take a vacation.
Listen, I think take one in between.
A little one.
Oh boy!
Well, congratulations, you guys.
Thank you very much.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
Pretty amazing. Who was cheering you on?
Our families. His parents, my parents. I'm one of 13 kids, so we have lots of aunts, uncles, cousins. So we had a lot of a big support system.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's good. That's good. That's the way it should be. All right. So can this still be done? Do you think people listening can do it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. If you just need to be motivated.
Yeah, it is the discipline. It is discipline. If you
Where did the discipline come from? How did you develop your discipline?
To be honest, I
think it's been a work in progress over the last 10 years. I think he's just steadily got more disciplined and everything.
And I think a lot of it is perspective. I listen to a lot of podcasts because I do work by myself as a vendor. I get to listen to a lot of it, and being able to hear what other people are doing, being able to, and not just on the Ramsey show, but maybe on Jocko's podcast or other things like that, and hearing the type of disciplines that people go through, the life things that they go through as well. That if the worst thing that I've got to do is throw product in the rain, okay, well, my life's pretty good. I ain't got to go out and go get a new car to impress somebody or go spend some money or whatever to feel good. I can hold off,
Cool.
Wow.
Cool. Well, way to go, you guys. Rock and roll, man. That's fun. Yeah. That's fun. So how does it feel? One more time.
Feels amazing.
Yeah, it does feel really good. It feels great, like you said that.
You brought the kids with you? Or are they in here?
Yeah.
They're in here to do the debt-free scream?
Yes,
Bring them up. Let's introduce them. Get the names and ages on them.
Come here. You come with me.
All right.
There's the first one.
There's the first one. This is Declan. We got a Landon. We got an Anthony. We got an Elliot. And we got my big baby Riley.
I love it. All right. Very cool. Fabulous, guys. Well done. Well done. Good stuff. Well, these kiddos don't even know how powerful a hero their mom and dad are. They've changed their whole family tree. Everything's different in your house because of your decisions. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
All right, Michael and Kara and the gang from Virginia, $213,000 paid off in 65 months, making 96 to 120. House and everything, halfway to baby steps millionaires at only 34 years old. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Yeah! Oh, man. If you didn't know what freedom sounded like, you can play that back. Now that's what freedom sounds like. That's how it works.
I love that. Listen, if you can pay off a house in 5 years, then you can save up a down payment to buy a house. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a mirror to show real estate dream is not dead.
Right.
They paid off their house.
They paid off their house at 34
Yes.
years old. With a house full of kids, by the way, and dogs and cats.
Yes.
You know, this is doable. This is reachable. And that's why we do the debt-free screams, to remind you guys that real people are doing it too, and that gives you permission to go do it. Hello, it's called hope. Proverbs 18:4 is our scripture of the day. The words of the mouth are deep waters, but the fountain of wisdom is a rushing stream. Elizabeth Elliot said, never pass up an opportunity to keep your mouth shut. Make a boring podcast, but other than that. Michelle is in Dover. Hi, Michelle. How are you?
I am wonderful, Dave. Jade, how are you?
Great. How can we help?
Well, I was calling in because I need some guidance getting out of a financial mess. And I have been in and out of this mess for many years, and I'm tired of being tired. And I just figure if someone has eyes from the outside looking in and can say, hey, this is what I see, and I know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what I need. I just need some help getting out of the mess, because that's what it is.
Yeah, you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, huh?
Yes. So tired.
Yeah, okay. So tell me about it. What's the mess?
Well, the mess is I'm in debt.
Yeah, what kind of debt have you got?
$40,000. I have IRS debt,
How much?
$22,000 worth.
IRS, $22,000.
Yes,
Okay.
$22,000.
What else?
A car loan, $20,000.
Mm-hmm.
I have a credit card, $477. And I have a loan. I literally just had my car repaired and financed $834 of that. $834.19 to be exact.
Mm-hmm. That it?
Yes.
No student loan?
No.
You got a mortgage?
Nope. I've got an extraordinarily expensive, for my budget, rent.
How much
that
is your
I'm
rent?
tired of paying. $18.99.
Okay. All right. Are you single?
Yes.
And what do you make?
It fluctuates. I work as a teacher. I work online, so I have about 3 jobs. And generally, I literally just did this. In one of the jobs, I bring home $500 a month. Let me see. I'm just looking at the numbers. $500 a month. The other one is $1,000 a month, and the other one is approximately $2,800 a month, approximately, because they fluctuate. All of them do.
Okay. All right. And how'd you get IRS debt? Some of this 1099 and you didn't pay your taxes?
Well, yes, that is the end. That's the cut and dry thing. Yes, I've worked at one of these companies for 15 years, and when I first started, we were 1099, and of course, the tax bill is so high, and I couldn't afford it, to be quite frank, and I've been paying on this since then.
Okay. All right. So for many years, you've had this IRS laying there?
Yes.
Okay. So you got $3,800. You've got $4,300 a month take-home pay. Mm-hmm. And $2,000 almost
on rent. Mm-hmm.
Your rent is
That's
ridiculous.
Your lunch. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
it's ridiculous. Okay, and how much is your car payment?
It's $427, I believe, is the exact amount, but I've been behind on it. So I literally called yesterday and got a payment arrangement for $500. I've been paying $430 on it.
Okay. All right. So first thing is we have to address living emergency to emergency. And then the second thing is you're going to have to make some adjustments in your rent. Mm-hmm. You can't stay there and prosper.
Got it.
You simply cannot afford $1,899 on $4,300. That's where that's your math strain point. It's killing you. Now, how many bedrooms are there?
3.
Okay. So the other option would be taking 2 roommates. But if you're not going to do that, you have to. I'm sorry? What?
I said I don't want to do that.
I don't want you to do that either. So you're going to have to move then.
Mm-hmm.
You simply cannot do this, okay? Unless you're going to tell me that somebody's offering you a job to double your pay. And I missed that in the conversation. So, yeah, this is what's killing you. Don't you think, Jade?
I think so. Can you tell us more about the jobs that you're doing?
Yeah, so I'm an ESL instructor, and basically it's the way that they pay. It's kind of like piecework, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on how many students I teach for that day, then I get paid.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically I get paid for every student that I teach
Uh-huh.
per the minute. And the other is one is the same thing, actually. It's just another company. I do that as well. And then the other job is I work as a tutor for schools throughout the United States. I just came off of a job on the other side of this same company where I had just for 6 months because of the summer, where I was working full-time.
Is there any decent money in translation at all?
That's what I'm wondering.
Well, there is, but I don't know any other language. These companies, in the ESL instructor.
So you're teaching English as a second language, but you don't know the other language.
Right. It's the unofficial first. English is the unofficial first language in South Korea. That's where I teach. So I don't have to know Korean.
I see.
Got
Okay.
it. Got
Yeah.
it. So you're
Yeah.
okay.
I
got you.
My
Okay.
end
All right.
goal
Mm-hmm.
is that I've been called to ministry, but I do not and refuse to be broke.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
know
don't know the
couldn't fi-
Dover, Delaware market. Is it an expensive market?
No, it's not.
Okay. You
It's
just found
really
an
not
expensive
compared
place
to
to
other
live. Okay.
And is this taking up 40 hours a week or 50 hours a week?
Oh, I'm working literally sun up to sundown, before sun up to
All right.
sundown.
Well, let me change gears back to what I said a minute ago. The first thing you've got to do is to do your detailed budget, and you have to prioritize every dollar that's coming in. And the priority sounds like this. The first thing you buy is food. The second thing you buy is lights and water. The third thing you pay is rent, and it's an adjusted rent because you're moving. Okay? And so food, shelter, clothing, transportation, and utilities. We pay your car payment. We keep the lights on. Okay? So we're not ever behind on the car again. We're not ever behind on the rent. We're not ever behind on the lights. You've got enough to do all of that. The only question is then how can we make progress when we knock out these first two little debts, the little credit card debt and the little car debt you just took on. But from now on, you're going to be so in control that these little things that pop up are not going, you're going to put $1,000 as your baby step one aside, savings. And so if a little car thing pops up, you just pay cash for it, you stop everything, you go back, build that $1,000 back up. But you've got to get away from this crisis to crisis to crisis to crisis because it starts to feel like your life's a country song.
Well, the rent is the unlock for that.
Yeah. Well, but being on a budget and a prioritized budget,
That's right.
every detail written down before the month begins, and then it's prioritized. As a dollar comes in, it is already spent because you've got the next thing up. Next thing up. First thing up's food. Second thing's lights and water. Third thing's shelter. Fourth thing's car and car gas. That's it. Next thing up. Next thing up. And then we're going to knock out the little 400. We're going to build our 800 or build our $1,000 up. Then we're going to start on baby step 2 and working our way through that. You adjust that. You also have a car you can't afford as well. And so,
Yeah,
I'm going to start looking at that, but it's not as big a pain point as the rent is. The rent is roughly double what you can afford.
Yeah.
And so you're doing all this remote anyway. You may be moving out a ways from the city to find a bargain in a little bit of a more rural area and get a much better deal of some kind. A garage apartment over the back in the backyard of a rich old lady, and you move in there and help watch over her a little bit or something, and make sure she's doing okay, and you get a bargain with that garage apartment until you get this thing squared around. And then when you get it squared around, you get these debts cleared. Then you start to build your good emergency fund. You start to build some wealth. Then you got some wiggle room to start to build a better quality of life at that point. But in the meantime, we're going to beans and rice and beans. And we'll give you EveryDollar for a year and get you set up and get you going on that. That's going to really help you with the process. Our gift to you. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.